They had their group. Yeah, you know, let me start this again. I hope I'm doing this right now. I don't have it on. At their dedicated group from the beginning, where people were, let's say, more hardcore. Thing is, part of their charter was to get this as a fitness education system throughout the world, including in schools. That's a big part of it.
Yeah, and
so he had that vision of it being that a long time ago. Well, it's going to be hard to get it in schools.
That's
if
true.
You're climbing fences and trees.
And that's the thing. And that's why, because I took contact with the girl in charge of this, because I was interested in doing movement at school. Today this one.
But we're going to do something different.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
but it doesn't looks like it's working.
Well, they have that, at least that one school that you know.
Yeah, but that's it. There is no more.
Yeah, so I don't know how many others. And see, the thing is, if that's really the charter, if that's really something that they're focusing on or want to do, they should be able to put in the effort to really do that particular thing. So it's been a case where they, at least when I was still on, they gave the responsibility to an individual to lead up that effort.
Yeah.
That individual, for whatever reasons, didn't seem to pan out that way. Like, the idea would be a simplistic, okay, you're in charge of this program to go get schools, and we have a vision to get this into all the schools around the world. Around the U.S., that's where we're starting. So in different regions, you're going to go and approach these schools and give them the lowdown for the program, and try to convince them, get them on board, get them to pay for certifications, whatever the case may be, workshops, whatever it may be. So you put all that responsibility on an individual who has a full-time job doing whatever they're doing, and the compensation, wherever that is. It's like, wherever that is, however much that is, especially to reach out to different schools. And then if you're going to go there, they'll probably foot the bill for the flight, a hotel, staying within these realms of, your flight is only going to, we're only going to give you this much for the flights.
Yeah.
We're only going to give you this much for the hotel that you're going to stay at. It's a lot of restrictive efforts like that. So you as an individual, you got to really be willing and really be driven to do that effort for this company.
Okay.
Instead of yourself, let's say.
Okay. Yeah.
So you put in all this effort, you might have to pull some money out of your pocket in order to get the divide of the cost, whatever is going on, food, whatever it is. And so it's like they're asking a lot for you to do a thing. And you're not an employee, you're a contractor.
Okay.
So it's like that kind of model is what has been repeated over and over for their stuff. You're doing certifications, you're an individual contractor. You have your own business, and you're doing a certification, but you're not an employee of the company or something like that. So again, same things with the flights, same things with the hotels. Like you go to a city like New York or wherever where the hotel bill is $300, $400 a night, and near the place that you want to do, that you're going to do this certification, or $100 across town, way out wherever. Those are your choices. If you're going to do the thing close to where you need to be, if you were lucky enough to get a facility, because you had to find that facility in the first place. You, the individual, had to find that place to hold the thing. Okay, so now it's like a $300, $400 a night hotel room. Well, you're not authorized to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, you were only given, I forgot what the amount is, but I'll say $150.
All right, okay.
So now you got to split the cost off of the money that you're going to make eventually. Yes, it's so much.
That's why it's not
so
working.
much. so much, and
Because-
I can understand it from the business/company perspective. I understand.
Of course, yeah, but
Yeah, it's just it's a hard road. So let's do the follow drill,
yeah.
and you basically follow me to start off with. Yeah, that's business.
Because the school thing is really interesting from my perspective, I think.
Yeah.
Because kids are sedentary a lot and bring things. That's what I'm trying to do with my students.
Yeah.
You know, but it looks like it's not working.
Just because it doesn't have the focus that it should have. So again, if that's the ultimate goal, I mean, really, if that's the ultimate goal, that's like should be the major focus.
Yeah.
It should be the major focus. If that's not the ultimate goal, then the mission statement should change. You know, that type of thing.
Okay.
And there were time periods where first there was a time period when the Great Cook type of thing,
Yeah.
and all of that was like a big part of the philosophy. And I'll say it in terms of again having this deal, yeah, this deal's starting to come out. Okay, I'll follow you this time.
Okay.
Having this deal where, you know, kind of following the philosophy of Great Cook and the stuff he's putting out. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, it's good enough to do that and stuff. And again, remember, this is starting out from this very dynamic thing where you're basically using your body to do all this stuff in any environment, you know?
Yeah.
That's what it started out as. Okay, so now we're going to be civilized following the science of what someone like Great Cook is putting out. And then the next deal, now we're latching on to the science of what Katie Bowman is putting out. You know,
Yeah.
with the move your DNA stuff. And it's like, you know, again, we started out as this company who's doing all this wild stuff and moving your body around in any environment. Okay, but now we're gonna do this move your DNA type of thing where you're basically doing restorative work as a part of the method, kind of mixing the two worlds when they are these two different things.
Okay.
For instance, yeah, one is more, let's say, restorative,
Yeah.
to get your body to move in a quote-unquote proper way. And the other is moving your ass off in the most efficient way you can type
Yeah.
deal.
So
Right?
that's kind of, yeah, there are two different philosophies.
Yeah, like for instance, I think I've mentioned this before, I'm pretty sure I have. But there's this one movement like this, you know, where different movement. One situation where like raising your hand above your head and, you know, testing your shoulder mobility or working on your shoulder mobility. Be able to do this instead of like this or something, you know. So back in these methods where they're trying to be corrective, they want you to do this, don't flare your chest out, keep your, you know, back against the wall, whatever it is. It's like, okay, that's fine as a corrective deal, but if I want to reach something up there, I'm going to do like this.
Yeah, that's true.
This is the natural movement way of doing that action, not this.
Yeah, that's
Why are we focusing on this in this natural movement realm? That's a restorative, corrective thing. That's not the natural movement stuff.
No, of course.
Why are we focusing so much on doing that or whatever? Pick a thing, you know.
Yeah.
Corrective
Makes
movements
sense, yeah.
are not the same thing as the natural movement.
Yeah. Because of the environment.
Yeah,
You're
because of what you're trying to accomplish, what
evolving
you're
it.
trying to do.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you want to integrate that stuff in order to move very well? Yes. Should it be a part of natural movement where you're trying to accomplish tasks? And it's just a different thing, you know?
Okay.
That's another, in my views, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah. But that's I understand this
Yeah.
point of view.
Go again. Switch hands, switch lead.
And I would like that. No, here.
Okay. Yeah, so it's another tricky deal. So combining with different groups and philosophies, and it's like, yeah, you know, it's all interesting things, but do you need to combine with philosophies when you had this thing that really did attract a lot of people? You know, you know, you watch the video "Workout the World Forgot." I mean, that's like
that was something.
that's the thing
crazy,
that people think about when they think of movement. You know, at least that's the way it used to be. So it's like you already have your niche.
That's true. That's true.
It's like, do you really need to be the same or make it seem as though you also have this in there? You know, this whole different thing that someone else is doing.
Too much things perhaps were not that good. Too much.
Spreading yourself out too much.
Yeah. You need to focus on one system and work on it. And okay, well, it makes sense. And Ralph Kelly, he kept the original philosophy of his. I feel like this.
Oh, with the evolved movement.
Yeah.
Well, I would say that
It's less marketing, perhaps.
this is true, but he takes elements from other styles. Let's say with the fighting monkey, basically taking things, which is nothing wrong with that. I mean, sure, that's something you can do. The difference, I'll say, with the MoveNet stuff is there was something that was truly primal at the core from the beginning.
Yeah.
And Rafe Kelly was a part of that at the very beginning. I mean, he's in the videos for the Workout the World Forgot.
I didn't
He's the
know
one.
this.
He's the one that did the camera work and was the one that Erwan's fighting with, like in the videos.
I didn't know it.
Yeah, and that's like a whole nother story. This whole thing that they've got between them, which this big disagreement that's been going on for who knows how long.
Yeah.
Your turn. So that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, so what he's doing, he takes elements from whoever's got something working and that kind of thing.
Okay.
So it's different deal, let's say, than the MoveNet. MoveNet is more, let's say, standardized.
Okay.
It's more of a formula. It's more formulaic, I'll put it that way. It's like going to a martial arts school and learning whatever that martial arts is with belts. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Like you learn these different things and you move up the ladder to the next belt.
Okay.
MoveNet is more of that nowadays, for sure. Where, let's say, in the beginning, it may have been less about belts and more about the experience of moving around as efficiently as you can in whatever environment you could. So it's not the same anymore.
It's different now. You can see it. And I think that you, as one of the, not the first, but you were
I was in the middle.
In the middle, you can feel this change.
Yeah. You know, I did a lot of studying, saw a lot of videos even before becoming a part of the group. A lot of the photos and seeing the original instructors and all that stuff. And yeah, so I feel like I got a pretty good view of the history. But I can also understand why things happen when they did and the whole
and
bit.
I think that you wanted to develop his company actually, so
Yeah, it's a tough one, man, because that also takes being closer to the middle of it. Like I mentioned, there's this period with Danny, and it's pretty difficult in that fashion because he had his thoughts on how things should go as far as the company goes. Yeah, interesting thing. Like one of the things right now, like recently, Vic.
Vic, yeah.
Yeah, is like his last combatives and aquatics, I guess, were done a month, 2, 3 ago. It's like, okay, so what's that mean now? From what I would guess, they won't continue those programs because those programs, as far as I know, are Vic's, like, contractually licensed, whatever.
Oh, I didn't know it.
As far as I know, and I'm not sure. Again, I'm not really studying the site or seeing what they're offering. Like, probably look right now.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't necessarily mean the website's up to date. It's like a whole nother thing. But yeah, so what happens now with combatives and aquatics?
Yeah, because that was the Vic's thing.
Yeah. So, yeah. So you could take your pick. We're basically going to work on a few movements, like doing the strikes again, like the 1, 2.
Okay.
Let's just stick with those for the moment.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, let's just make it 1 strike. So we'll do the number 1 strike, which comes like this, and we'll switch out the weapons in a little bit, but it's just going to be that number 1.
Yeah.
You can start off slow and then work to build up the movement. And even with this one, using the 2 hands as this weapon should be used. So yeah, it's like I have no idea what's going to happen with those 2 programs.
Yeah. Because I think that the combative and the aquatic were really fitting the movement philosophy.
Yeah, it makes sense. You're trying to cover these realms of movement. So yeah, just don't know what's going to happen. Now, could it be that they're going to basically make up and adopt another program? Like they could reach out to some company who's doing a lot of the stuff, and basically develop the program again. It won't be the exact same as what it was when Vic was doing it. It'll just be different, which it should be, otherwise there could be some legal issue or something.
Okay.
So they certainly can develop a swimming program, but then you're going to run into the issue of being able to do all the stuff it takes in order to run that program. Like, it was not a simple thing to run the aquatics program. You had to find a place that was going to allow you to be there all day for 2 days straight. It had to be warm enough to where the people could stand it, where you're going to be in the water most of the time, or a great majority of the time. So it's like, it's very hard to find places like that. Either a pool that's willing to give you space for 2 days straight, which is, and the pool has to have a deep end, something that you can actually really go down.
Okay.
Not just like 6 feet. It has to be 10 feet, 15 feet.
Okay, so.
Yeah, and on top of that, it has to, like I was saying, be warm enough to where you can stand it for a long time. Then you have to have a good setup for emergency situations, especially in this day and age, as opposed to, let's say, a long time ago when they could originally get away with it. Where, they have people that, however certified they may be, to help out in case there's an emergency, So, a lot of considerations there. Then you just have the program itself to be able to do the actual items that are in the program, not just having done it once during a certification and now you're teaching it, but to have practiced it many, many times. And that's why Vic was, you know, the primary person for that program he developed, because he had been doing that thing for a really long time and had a great interest in it and could actually do it. And even when I went to do the aquatics myself, I assisted him on being like the victim and doing certain things because of my background, because of all the background I had in the SEAL team stuff, doing aquatics. I mean, that's sea, air, land. That's, you know, so it's like, it's not easy finding people with that kind of experience. And it's not the same as like just being a good swimmer or having been on a swim team. It's not the same thing.
I think it's completely different.
Well, you have the ability to swim, you're used to the water, but it's not the same thing. It's like, it's like the difference between practicing martial arts and practicing real self-defense.
No.
You know, with scenarios.
Yeah.
It's that kind of deal.
That's it. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, tough road. And then the combatives, that's the other thing, which again, there's a big difference between doing combatives and doing regular martial arts.
Yeah, it was based on a situation.
Yeah, so let's trade up. Yeah, so that whole thing where you are looking at scenarios and getting into the mentality of things, that's something that it's just a different thing than doing regular martial arts. So, are you the person, in order to teach that class, that course, that can mentally be in that space and relay that information to a group of people? Are you that type of person, you know, that can really get that gritty, grimy, and be fine with teaching all that stuff that's going to be required to teach that type of course?
I think that for that type of thing, for the combative, that was why Vic was the kind of guy that did it, because like you, he was in the army.
Yeah.
And it's you know, it's more realistic combat than doing martial art.
I think it might have been a Royal Marines or something like that.
Yeah, it was.
Do you have a
It was
Royal Marines?
Il était dans les commandos marines, mais.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, it takes a special person.
You know, Ebert Commando?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
That's a French group of commandos.
Yeah, so it's a special person to be able to do that, relay that information, be fine with relaying that information. Because it's gritty, it's grimy, it can be all encompassing. And even like if you see the stuff that Vic's doing now, you know, it's about, he's got his man philosophy part of things. And it's still that, you know, strong, aggressive, what's the stoic type of thing, you know? Yeah, you got to be that type of person to relay that type of information. And so think about that in the hands of someone who doesn't have that experience, doesn't have that mentality, and they're trying to teach you combatives.
It cannot work.
Yeah, so those two programs, who knows? Trade up again. All right, so take your pick again.
This one?
This time we're going to work on something that you may not have been suspecting. Like this, to work on the false grip. And so holding this for like 10 seconds or so, then relax for a little bit. grip. Okay. Squeeze the grip when you are like this. Let's try to build strength in that position.
Squeeze. Okay.
All right. You ready? Yeah. So you know, it's like they could change it to just working on the basic fundamentals of striking or grappling or whatever. It doesn't have to be the same type of deal, and you don't have to call it combatives. Well, you can, because okay, you shake it, because I'm pretty sure that's his stuff. So calling it something else, and it could just be about striking and some grappling and that type of deal. Then you can get anyone who has that type of experience to actually head up that program and teach it. I mean, it's another Stefano, you know, obviously has that experience.
You see martial art too?
Yeah, so he obviously has that experience, so he could do that thing, you know. It just won't be the same thing. And so, you know, it's another part of the moving that realm to kind of, you know, that's something that they used to do, or that's the way it used to be, that type of deal.
Okay.
But again, I don't know what kind of deals are made. I don't know if Vic is selling those IPs to MoveNet. I don't know. Let's see if you can do like this. Pull out like that as you're doing it.
Pull out.
Yeah.
Like that?
Okay. Yeah, you can feel it.
Oh yeah, I feel.
And the next one's going to be doing like this and pushing it. Yeah. And obviously you can do this anytime you want at home. Just grab a broomstick or whatever. Push in. Yeah, but the aquatics is definitely much more tough to do.
Yeah, because people
Okay. Swim
with their clothes too. I remember like
Yeah. In case you fell off some. Okay, this one's gonna be like you're doing a muscle up. So if you're keeping like the tension the whole time. So you're starting out here, and then you're doing around 5 of these. Like this. As if you're doing a muscle up. You know what I mean? Close to the body.
yeah.
And it's not an exact simulation, but the idea is keep your grip nice and tight through the whole thing, so you can have the tension in your muscles during the whole movement.
It's
Yeah. How many people have you seen doing this?
not a lot.
And I don't do it much at all. I've done it like maybe 3 times since coming across it, like just thinking, oh, what if I did this?
Yeah,
It's like, what the hell? Look at that.
you can really find the tension, really feel the tension in your.
Yeah, I mean, look.
Yeah, that's.
So we'll do another set of these. But when you do it from here, make sure you're coming close here instead of like out here.
Yeah.
And when you get back up to the top, you curl your wrist again to do that false grip.
Yeah, I can feel. Even Even the scapula is working.
All right, now that we've burned those out, we'll just go ahead and do some kicks.
Okay.
And it's been a while since we've done those, so we can start off basic again. And I'll tell you what, we'll do one person at a time and just kind of work on do some of the kicks. So like, just grab a spot that's a little bit further off.
Okay.
And we'll keep it simple and start with the low kick. No, I'll do 5, and you'll come in.
Okay, so
We'll
I
just switch it up, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna start with left foot forward and just do a roundhouse to the lower limbs. Just working on the body mechanics.
Okay.
So left foot forward. Okay, take a nice big step with this one first. Or let's say, go back to the left foot forward. When you're in this stance, take a step out here first and then deliver the kick, yeah. Because remember, we're starting out, we're like this.
Yeah. So
We're not like this.
Yeah, I remember.
All right. Mechanics sound good anymore. All right. Shaping it up. Memory's coming back, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Now remember, just a second.
What's happening?
Yeah, I meant to, I was going to put up a heavy bag. Still might do it. Just have to watch out where we kick from. You got to clean up some food. Let's go higher. Starting out with the left again. We're going to come in here instead. Go as high as you feel comfortable.
Okay, okay.
Switch up. this area here. letting it hang, it comes then down. So not this one for this kick. These are more power kicks. This is snap kick. Keep your hands up. Just using that pendulum step. That's where the pendulum is coming in. Pendulum. That's good. Noticed on that first one, you even did this one.
So that was not a good one.
No, no,
Yeah,
it was good.
it was good, okay.
No, no, no.
All
I'm
right.
just saying, automatically, you did this. Because that's another one with the
All
steps we work on, right?
Yeah. Okay, all right.
All right, same thing, going a little bit higher. So just as a kind of a review thing, left foot forward. Okay, I'm just going to go over a review of what we covered. So we start off with this, like with this kick here, as a power kick down here. Or, well, down there, and then the next one we went up higher. Right. Then the next deal, we were doing the snapping kicks. Yeah. No. That's fine. We were doing the snapping kicks. Boom, like that. So you got this right here.
Okay.
So it's boom. Whether it's inside here or it's here. Boom.
All right.
Same thing. And then coming up higher. Boom. Right in here. Even if you're hitting arms, whatever, doesn't really matter, especially if you're conditioned. It doesn't really matter.
Okay.
It matters if they do this.
Yeah, I imagine, yeah.
So that's the difference.
Okay.
Otherwise, if it's hitting like it, if they're blocking like this, it still hurts.
All right.
It's still a thing.
Okay.
Right. So that's that deal. I think 22 after. I'm gonna grab the bag if you want to keep like moving through some of that stuff.
Okay.
I'm gonna grab the bag and try to put it up. See that boot spot? Once I put up the bag, I'll go ahead and take care of that stuff. And we basically, I'll take care of it. I'm just saying that when we start moving,
Okay. Okay.
So just as a or Well, down there, there's the next one, we have a fire. Then the next drill, we were doing the snapping kick. No. We were doing the snapping kick. So you get this right here. Boom. So it's inside here. It's here. Boom. Even if you're hitting arms, whatever, doesn't really matter, especially with your position. Doesn't really matter. It matters if they do this. So that's the difference. Otherwise, if it's hitting like squat like this, it still hurts. It's still a thing. Okay. So that's that deal. You're gonna grab the bag if you want to keep it. You're gonna keep seeing that stuff. Okay. You're gonna grab the bag and you're gonna put it up to that. Once I put up the bag, you're gonna put it up.
Okay.
Yeah, it's coming. I mean, we still have some patches we should still kind of take care of. Like, I don't know what the heck happened over there. Yeah, so we still have some stuff to do, but it's okay. We'll get it. Not an emergency. All right, let's see. Okay, you can get in there. Okay, that works. All right. Okay, so we'll kind of do the same thing with the same kicks. And so just starting off again, you know, that's the place, not the step. And we'll do the same kicking pattern. So starting off with these. Move more that way. Yeah. So you won't forget. Okay, that's good. Yeah, just use your mental timing to meet the bag as it's coming back.
Yeah, and I didn't strike it properly. I strike it here. I should strike it here.
Well, in here.
Yeah, yeah.
There are a lot of places here, in this area here, but yeah, just be more in control when you're doing your strikes.
Okay.
So don't feel like you're rushed. Mentally be there to control all your movements.
Okay.
So just like I was talking about meeting the bag, like that's stuff that you just control yourself in order to do that thing.
Okay.
So for the other side. Now, on this side, you can probably come more out here because you don't want to be too close to this, and you know you're not going to go too far over there. What do you feel like you need to correct off of that?
First, the guard, because my guard was low, and perhaps I need to step up.
Okay, so again, take a little bit of an angle, because when you do your step, instead of stepping forward, you should step out a little bit. So for instance, instead of doing this, instead of this, it should be this.
Yeah. To give more space. Okay.
So that's why you're starting over there, so you don't step in that. That's good. Nice and low.
Low. Lower.
Yeah. Around this area here.
Okay.
Good. Let's see. So my knee is below this. So knee on down, basically. Okay, that's good. All right, going up a little bit higher. Right now you're doing this, you're doing this. You need to turn your hip over. That's more like it. So just do it a little bit lighter, just to get the mechanics. Yeah, that's more like it. So it's just a different kick. Doing this one is just different than doing this one. They're
Okay.
both good kicks. We're just doing this one right
Okay. And yes, I really need to think about my hips going over.
now. Yeah. Hips all the way down to where is the target making contact, or where am I making contact with the target. And in this case, they're making contact here as opposed to here. You're doing this right now as opposed to this.
So it need to be the chin.
The middle of the shin,
The chin.
that ridge.
Okay.
But
And
again,
with my kick, it's more like my calves.
yes, but that's just it's another kick.
Okay.
And
But
it
this
has
one
this.
should be more efficient because there is a
No, it's
load
just
here.
another kick. It's
Okay.
just the situation dictates.
Okay.
Like for instance, if you're punching out like this and you have that exposed, and I'm close, instead of trying to take some big step, I can just do this,
Okay.
or boom,
Okay. All right.
where I don't have time to do this in the room to do that, right?
Okay.
So I'm just throwing up the kick like that.
And you. Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's just another kick you
Okay.
practice.
All right.
Remember, instead of walking straight up, like scoot over there, just a little bit, yes, and turning the hip over. That's it. Okay, that's the thing to practice. You get one more. Don't step on the poop. Okay. That was good. So yeah, you just need to work on the mechanics without the bag of taking that step over and turning your hips over. Step over, hips over. That time you didn't.
Nope.
You didn't do it. So let's say you have your left foot forward, and for one, you're taking your traditional stance, the one you do all the time. That cat stance, you're doing this, so right now, that makes it awkward to take the step over because you're putting so much weight on this back foot that it's like, okay, now I gotta do something like this, which is weird on the hips. It's weird on the hips when you're leaning back and you're doing this, as opposed to this stance where you're, let's say 60-40, 60-40, and it's easier to do this. It's easier to do this move. Doing like this stance, it's more awkward to do this movement. So again, stance is where it's starting at.
So it's more a boxer stance.
Yes.
But I work on it.
60-40 stance, you step over and you kick. Yeah. And then just turn the hips over. Yeah. And it can even, this too, instead of like this, because you're about to come into that. Yes, that's it.
Okay.
Right? And just realize that if you're in this cat stance, it's more awkward to do that motion.
Okay.
Because you're opening the hips out, for both hips are being open, and it's an awkward feeling. It's like doing like this.
All right.
This is an awkward feeling.
That's good. So okay. So I just.
Yep. Yep, that's it.
Okay.
That's the whole thing.
That's the thing I need to work on. I worked on the.
See the stance you have?
Yeah.
You went right back to it. This is exactly what you did. You got into that narrow line kind of stance where you're leaning backwards. Instead of the 60-40 with the feet spread where you're 60-40. Now, if you only did the stance forever and you got really great at fighting in the stance, then you would be really great at fighting in that stance. This is a more practical stance for more things.
Yeah, I need to think about this. The weight is.
Ball of the foot on the rear. Yeah, or let's say heel off the ground. That's a better way to say it. Not too much tension back here. You're just like this. See how? Can you see my heel off the ground, or is it hardly detectable?
It's hardly detectable.
It's off the ground.
Okay, I thought it was on the ground. Okay. So.
See this?
Yeah. So it's.
And it's only up there because this is too static, and I'm making this happen. This is too set for what we're trying to accomplish. So being like this for what we're doing is not the way. This is the way for what we're doing.
Okay.
To allow you to do stuff like this. To move around. See this? See my upper body? Because of this type of action, that's why this heel needs to be off the ground. If you set it flat and you were making it flat, you wouldn't be able to successfully do that.
Yeah.
This is more fluid because your heel is not glued to the ground.
Yes.
So you can feel a distinct difference, right?
I have a real difference.
So
because
you
when
can-
I'm doing this, I'm stuck. When I'm doing this.
Yeah, so you can practice that to just see the difference
Yeah.
on what it feels like when you are heavy weighted with the heel on the ground and you do this, and then make it so it's not, and you feel more fluid, more flexibility because your heel's not glued to the ground.
Yeah.
It's coming up, it's coming down. It's not doing this. It's not this. It's just moving as it needs to move naturally. Right?
Yeah, I can feel it's different.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so with that, now when you do movements like this, they're more natural. Even doing that, just doing like this, just try this a few times. Just moving around, not even trying to kick. Step out more, a little bit more, like foot. There you go, that's it. And that's also this drill. Remember this drill?
Yeah.
That's this too. You're practicing stepping out. All tied together.
Okay.
All tied together. It's okay. You work it out when you're doing your deal. When you think about it and focus on it totally. All right. What time you got?
I got 8:42.
Okay. So let's get back on track and
Okay.
we'll start off again. Well, we'll move on to this one. This one is hitting in the instep. This area.
Okay, all right.
Other side. Other side, front foot. Right. Just nudge. Or let's say the objective is to get there quicker. Okay, that's good. The other side. Nice and low. Trying to get that calf. Remember, it's below the X. Okay, that's good. Now a little bit higher. Anywhere from the thigh area to the torso.
Okay.
Somewhere around here. Nice quick pendulum. You hear? Nice quick pendulum. There you go.